If you're tired of the cycle of conflict in your relationships, this video is for you, but make sure you watch part 1 first. Hey everyone, if you've been to see my videos before, welcome back. If you are new, my name is Ross and I'm an intuitive counselor. So in part 1 of this video series about the drama triangle, I introduced you to the drama triangle itself and the different aspects of it and how it plays out in our relationships. And in this video, I want to take a next step. And I want to start with the question that you might have been asking yourself, which is, how do you get out of that cycle? How do you stop the drama triangle cycle? How do you create a different way of being in your relationships? And the answer to that is, I guess, kind of twofold. So one, it's really important to look at what is creating that dynamic within you. In other words, what is it that is making you be the way you are and respond the way you are in relationship? In other words, there's a trigger, there's a hook, there's a way of being that is emerging that is destructive in your relationships. And so the first thing is to become aware of that. And then the second thing is to do something about it. And often that comes down to, reconciling your past, trying to understand why this way of being is showing up in your life. But in terms of the dynamic itself, one person needs to step out of the cycle. In other words, one person needs to say and take a stand and say, I am not going to bring these ways of being into my relationships any longer. The moment someone steps out of it, then that whole cycle stops. The other person involved might not really understand what's going on if you stop responding the way you were. But ultimately, there's no way to engage if one person decides no more. And you might be asking yourself, and I always think of Dragon's Den when they say, oh, there has to be a better way. And there is a better way. And so today I want to introduce you to the empowerment dynamic, which is a flip of the drama triangle. So I'm actually going to start by sharing my screen again and show you a different image. So last time with the drama triangle, we saw the 3 roles of persecutor, we saw the rescuer, and we saw the victim. In the empowerment dynamic, we see 3 different roles. And these roles are actually connected to the other roles, but the more empowered version of them. So I'm just going to start by going through these 3 roles with you, and I'll start with the creator. And the creator is all about the fact that you create your reality. In other words, it's the story you write rather than the story you tell. So by choosing to step out of that other triangle and stepping into this dynamic, you are choosing to be on this side of the triangle. And it's important to say that this triangle can flip back and forth. In other words, the roles will flip back and forth. It'll take time and practice to shift these roles. In other words, the creator might step back into that victim consciousness from time to time, and awareness will bring you back to this creator side. So creator, I think that one makes sense. We'll just jump up to challenger. So challenger is, I think the best way I can describe this is it's the energy and wisdom of the elder. In other words, if you've ever experienced feedback from a grandparent, I often describe it as this loving slap of truth. In other words, it's rooted in love, it's rooted in care, but it's the sting of the truth. And that's what the challenger energy is all about. Challenger is that rooted, grounded, I'm here to support you and love you, but I need you to know the truth. The third role is coach, and coach can easily flip with teacher. This is the person who's here to support you, guide you, show you your blind spots. And when I say person, I mean this energy that embodies these ways of being. Show you your blind spots, speak the truth, but from a loving, supportive place. So those are the 3 roles as they show up in the empowerment dynamic. So then the question becomes, how do you work with this? And in the last video, I talked about the 3 ways this shows up. This shows up externally in our relationships, internally with our self-dialogue and the way that our inner critic speaks to us, And then also internally, when we have conflict with someone inside our head without them knowing that they're a part of that inner conflict that we're having. And so the layer of working with this in relationship externally, I'm not going to get into that in this video because there's some complexities there. However, I do want to bring attention to how you can work with this with those two internal ways. And the main thing is to play with these roles and allow yourself to, instead of having a dialogue with your inner critic that is persecuting you, allow yourself to begin to have a dialogue with this side of the triangle. So creator, what would a creator say to you instead of the victim? So if your inner critic was supportive and helpful, what would that voice be like? And so this, starting with your own inner dialogue, is a great place to start. And sometimes it's easiest to bring up a situation that is happening in your life. So if you think of a situation that's happening, what would the creator voice have to say to you about this situation? And then switching to the challenger, what would the challenger voice have to say to you in this situation? What does it have to give you in terms of that loving sting of the truth that you might be benefiting from in this situation? And then again, what does the coach or teacher voice have to support you with? What is it that they can see that will help guide you that you can't see for yourself? And ultimately, what happens is the relationship we have with the topic is going to change, because when we flip back to the drama triangle, that is not a place of creation. It is a place of being stuck. It is a place of reaction. It's a place of continuing a cycle that's hurtful and harmful and does not move us forward. And as you spend time connecting with these three energies of creator, challenger, and coach, you'll begin to notice that this triangle has the motivation and the energy of moving you forward, getting you unstuck, shifting your perspective, bringing awareness, bringing a level of consciousness, bringing a level of choice to your relationships. And so really the best place to continue to work with this to start off with is within your own being, within your own situations that show up. And then from there, that will mean that you are going to show up differently in your relationships. So I think I'm going to leave it there. In the next video, I'll get into it a little bit deeper, but just wanted to give you an outline of the other side of that drama triangle, this empowered side of the drama triangle, and how it can help to shift your relationships. And I also just want to quickly bring attention to the image. Like, we see a very different image of these two people really just in a place of peace. And I love this quote, which is from a meditation that I did, and it was with David G. And the question that he asked was, do you want peace or do you want to be right? Do you want peace or do you want to be right? And this shift from drama to empowerment is really about the choice of wanting peace. So thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. And if you found the information beneficial and you think there's someone else you know that might benefit, please share it. If you are interested in the work that I do, my website address is in the description of the video. And thanks so much for watching, and sending you unconditional love, and we'll see you again next time.